Hello and welcome to this latest video in this series for Microsoft Excel users. In this tutorial we're going to start looking at calculating with dates, and the first thing I want to show you really is how Excel handles dates in terms of calculations, and I'm going to do that by creating a new spreadsheet. Click on the new button there, and I'm just going to first of all type in the number 1 in A1, type in number 100 in A2, type in 5,000 in A3, and I'll type in 45,000 in A4. Now, the key really to understanding Excel and dates is just to know that every number has a date connected with it, and every date has a number connected with it. That is every day after the 1st of January 1900. So what I'm going to do here is simply select the number 1 there, go to the Format menu, choose Cells, and I'm just going to click on Date and accept the default, or the very first option they have there, which is 01/01/1900, as you can see. Click OK. So that comes out as the 1st of January 1900 because the number 1 is associated with that date. As far as Excel is concerned, it always has been from the very early days of Excel. The reason for that is if every date has a number connected with it, we can calculate with dates. So hopefully that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is just select these other 3 values, and you will see what dates they have associated with them. So go back to Format menu, choose Cells, Date again, click OK, and you will see what values or what dates these other numbers have associated with them. So you can see now 9th of April 1900, 8th of September 1913, and 15th of March 2023. So that last one's in the future, 45,000. Now what I'm going to do is just copy that block of cells, and I can do that fairly simply. Select those cells, put the mouse pointer at the bottom right, and then drag across. Just oh, by the way, if you ever see these hash marks, it simply means that the cell isn't wide enough for the content, so you can just extend the column width and the contents will appear. Now I'm going to convert these dates now back into their numbers just to prove that it works. So I'm going to select those cells, go back to Format, choose Cells, go to the General option, which is a basic number format, and okay, there we go. So now they're back in their original number format. Fundamentally, that's all you need to know really about dates, is that they all have a number associated with them, and by having that we can then do some calculations. So we will go back to our earlier spreadsheet. Fred's running a little cinema business, and you saw in the previous video I formatted the dates down here, so I've already got some dates on. Now I'm just going to modify this first date here, so it's actually today's date. So I'm going to simply do Control and semicolon, press enter. So that's got today's date, and I'm going to come across to H6 and add a new label in, and the label will say days to go. Alright, and I'm going to just do a bit of formatting here. I'm going to first of all just select all those cells in that G, or G6 down to G11. Click on my Format Painter, then click on H6, and that will apply the colour and the grid formatting. I'm then going to select cells H7 down to H11, go to Format, choose Cells, and then simply apply the general or the number format to that with 0 decimal places on it. There we go, click OK. And that's because the result that I want to have appear in these cells will be a number rather than a date or a piece of text. Okay, so we're going to create the formula now. So all I need to know are 2 things: what today is and what the movie date is. In other words, this date here, which is today, and this date here, which is the screening date. When we're working out the difference between dates, it's important to deduct the lower number from the higher number so we don't end up with a negative value. Okay, so let's create the function that will reveal how many days there are to go to each of these screenings. So press equals in H7, start the formula. Click on the screening date first of all, in this case Wednesday, 11th of May, today. press the minus key because we're deducting one date off the other, and then click on the today value in E3 in my case, and then I'm going to click on the little tick up there, and that'll enter 0. So there's 0 days to go. Okay, just do one more. So click in cell H8, press equals, click on the date of the screening, press minus, and click on today's date, which is the lower value. Click on the little tick again, and we get 4 this time. Okay, so 4 days to go to the next screening, and this time, right, before I do this next thing, there's one thing I need to correct in this formula. You'll notice that obviously I've got today's date fixed in one cell there. So what I'll do actually is I'll delete my calculation in H7, sorry, H8, go back to H7, click on the formula, and I want to convert that E3 value to an absolute reference. So all I do is make sure the cursor's flashing at the end of that cell reference, press F4, that'll set that as an absolute reference. Accept that by click the tick, and then I can just simply drag that formula down the remaining cells there, release the mouse button, and there we are. Just click away. So you can now see how many days there are to go before each of the screenings, which might be useful, it might not be useful. So if you're planning an event, it's just a handy little reminder of how long you have to go before the event. That's just a quick introduction to date calculations. In the next video we'll look at it in a little more detail and look at some other functions you can use for calculating dates, and also apply a bit of formatting to make some of these calculations a bit more useful as well. So thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you next time.